going on, guys? So, did you see this freaking week's episode of Doctor Who? Because, man, it was totally like a nod to 2001 Space Odyssey. I mean, freaking robot things taking over and trying to get rid of humans. Man, it even looked like freaking Hal. The whole, like, voice of... The whole suit red eye thing was totally paying homage to Hal from 2001 Space Odyssey. And it was in space? Like, what? But I think some of you that actually saw that movie, great movie by Stanley Quebec, but it is kind of hard to watch if you are not a lover of films because it can be very slow. Still an awesome, amazing, fucking gorgeous looking film. So that little nostalgia was really awesome for me as I was watching this Doctor Who episode. And there was just so many other things in this episode that I thought were great. Like freaking space zombies, although they, you know, technically it was just dead people in their robot suits. But still, they freaking look like space zombies. Secondly, we found out that the Doctor is missing space. You know, you can just tell he's been missing it. And then they go to a freaking distress signal with Nordal is all like, oh, I know you're freaking trying to get rid of me again, and I'm just gonna stay right here with you. And he thinks that, you know, he outsmarted the Doctor, but you can't outsmart the Doctor, like, come on. So they end up going to freaking do this distress signal thing, and it's in space because, you know, he misses it, so why wouldn't he go into space? And then, of course, everything gets just very Doctor Who-y, and there's just, everything gets worse before it gets better. But, man, the whole scene where freaking Bill's suit is messing up, and that they have to go and walk in space, that was such a great freaking scene. You got it from the perspective of Bill, like, going in and out of consciousness because she doesn't have a helmet on, and you see the freaking Doctor gave her a helmet, but she's already, like, freaking, like, you know, knocked out so much because she wasn't able to breathe. Like, that was just, like, really, I don't know how it felt for you guys, but it was kind of intense for me, and I was watching it on my phone because, you know, I just didn't have time to watch this and I had to watch it at work. Shh, don't tell my job. Anyway, still watching it on my phone, I was all like, man, this is insane because I feel like, I don't know why, I always thought that, you know, oh, if you can't breathe in space, just hold your breath and try to get something done. No, apparently, that kills you. Apparently, holding your breath in space kills you faster. Not something I knew. Is that true? I don't know. I haven't looked on Google. But anyways, right now, I'm terrified. So freaking Bill blacks out and goes all icy and shit, but the Doctor saves her. In the process, he freaking loses his eyesight. That was pretty crazy that the Doctor lost his freaking vision, but you know, the Doctor don't need to see a damn thing to make shit happen. But going back to that whole sequence of them walking outside, I loved that the audio was very minimal because apparently you can't hear shit in space. I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson. I saw an interview with him on like The Late Show or something like that, and he was talking about how in movies, like all the badass space movies, if we were actually watching that in space happening, you wouldn't hear shit. I couldn't explain a damn thing about science or space, but I am fucking fascinated by it. Probably why I really enjoy this show so much. But yeah, so I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, we still heard a little bit of things when that whole scene was going on, but you heard it from, I think the audio felt like it was going from inside of Bill. Like, you know how you hear things in your body? Like, you know, you're just like, you know, you know what I mean. It's really hard to explain. But if you do go back and watch that scene, the sounds are very minimal that are happening in there, and I think it was just from the perspective of Bill, which I thought was really awesome. I don't know if they were even taking that into consideration, or maybe that was just a director's choice, that they're like, oh yeah, I want to have very minimal audio here, because you wouldn't hear shit in space. Now, you were able to kind of hear voices and stuff. Are you not able to hear voices in space? See, like, I just had a lot of questions, but that whole scene had me, like, I was very intense, because, you know, you see the Doctor very briefly with no helmet, and you're like, how the hell is he doing that? And blah, blah, blah. Like, it was just a pretty intense moment, and I really enjoyed it. Before that, we had a nice little funny moment of Bill being called a racist, which I thought was hilarious, how the tables are turned, and it just gives you that insight into the future as we freaking go out into the stars, that eventually, you know, we're probably going to be racist towards aliens because they're going to be very different, and they're going to be the ones that are calling us racist and stuff, even though we've dealt with it the whole time. It's just really very different how perspective goes over time. Did I say goes? I meant changes over time. And it also shows you that sometimes you just got to sit down and actually talk with people, and they're not automatically what you think they are. They just don't understand it because it's very different for them. At least that's how I felt, because when I started getting more gay friends, I didn't know how to actually address or talk to them properly without offending them. And then I just sat down with one of my friends that was really cool, and I was like, yo, does this get you mad? And now I feel so much better about talking about things that I didn't understand. So that's just a little thing that you guys should get, you know, you should go out there and just talk to people that you feel like you don't understand. Get to know them. That way, I think everybody's better in the whole situation. Got a little off topic there, but still, this episode was so awesome. Like, just being trapped in space and everything that was going on with it. I don't know, I just really enjoyed this episode. How did you guys actually feel about Nordal freaking coming on to the actual adventure? This is what I like. I love the freaking dual companion thing. I love dual companions on this show. Sometimes I wish there was more than 2 companions, just because it's just different perspective and stuff like that. I just really enjoyed it, so it was cool that he came along he came along for the ride or the adventure or whatever, and it just added a whole new, like, different perspective on, you know, between Bill and the doctor, and now we got freaking Nordal who's like, you should be at home. After a lot of drama and freaking Bill's freaking suit messing up a lot, the doctor finally finds out what is going on with everything and says it's business as usual and needs freaking Bill to trust him, and that's when she freaking gets knocked out and electrocuted. She doesn't die. The doctor freaking knows she wasn't died because apparently he knows how long or what it takes to kill somebody, which was pretty savage when I heard that. I was like, oh, that was low-key. Like, he said it nonchalantly. I don't know if anybody else picked up on that, but I was just like, that was gangsta. But when Bill gets all scared because he didn't tell her a joke or whatever, he doesn't know if it's good, she screams for her mom. And this is like the 2nd or 3rd time that we've, like, there's constantly, if you guys don't know, there's just something going on with Bill's mom. Like, that's gonna be some kind of connection at the end of this season. Like, she got, like, killed by a freaking, you know, one of the invasions that happened on Earth, or I don't know. She's gonna have some kind of connection because every episode deals with Bill's mom, or, like, what if it was, like, what if Bill was freaking regenerated into her mom and Bill was like, what? Something crazy. I don't really know. I'm just throwing out some weird shit out there, but you guys got to admit that Bill's mom has to have some kind of connection in this whole storyline that's involving Bill, because she screamed out for her and she's constantly involved. She's been, like, she's appeared in multiple episodes this season. One thing I want to throw out there when it comes to the doctor, how do you guys feel about Peter Capaldi's speeches? I think he might be, I don't want to say the best, but one of the best doctors when it comes to giving speeches. Like, I don't know, my favorite speech from him when it was with the freaking Attack of the Zygons, when he's giving that speech where they both have their hands on the buttons that would destroy, like, the human race or the Zygon race. That speech was so good, and I think that was last season, right? It might have been the previous season, I'm not too sure. But man, I think he does really good at speeches on this as the doctor, and he did, like, a small one in here when it talked about, like, I don't know, was he talking about business? Or he was talking to, especially when he was talking to Bill, like, do you trust me? And blah, 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 like, you're gonna go through hell, but this and that, like, you gotta trust me. I don't know, I just feel like even these, like, the mini speeches that Peter Capaldi gives, like, he delivers them so well. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've liked him so much as the doctor, because he just brings this, like, I don't know, just this emotion. I mean, all the doctors have always brought, like, some crazy emotion. Like, I feel like, you know, Matt Smith was the silly doctor or the fun doctor. Tennant was the dramatic doctor. You know, I think Eccleston was the action doctor, but you know what I mean? But I just feel like they all have, like, this one, every doctor has their, like, one thing that they do really well. And Peter Capaldi's speeches are freaking great. But I love how the freaking underlying, like, symbolism or message of this episode was freaking capitalism sucks. I mean, even freaking the doctor says it in this episode that he's like, this is business as usual, and he says it's just capitalism at its, like, most ultimate thing. Like, if freaking businesses could charge you for the air that you breathe, they fucking would. And freaking Doctor Who, I've said freaking a million times, I'm sorry, but I just want to, like, replace it with the F word over and over, but I'm trying not to. Anyways, if businesses could charge you for the air you breathe, they would do that. And this is exactly what Doctor Who did in this episode. It's so damn crazy, but so damn true that businesses would do that. And in the future, in this future, that is what happened. And it was literally getting people killed because they couldn't breathe. And then the suits and everything, or the business, finds out a way to actually save money by not even needing to sell air at all and just eliminating humans to do the damn business. And that's what was going on here. And the doctor freaking thinks about everything, puts all of the freaking air supplies into the freaking core to blow it up, and the business is like, whoa, that'll freaking give us bad PR, that'll make us a huge loss on this system, blah, 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 blah. Give them all the air they want, it'll be way cheaper. That is freaking insane, because that is the only way you can make a business change their mind, is by hurting their wallet. And it's crazy, because it's how shit works. I mean, look at how with social media nowadays, when businesses get hit with something crazy that happened. You just saw it happen with United when they beat the shit out of that guy because he didn't want to give up his seat. Look at how bad that hurt their profits. Like, they freaking dropped in, like, on the stock market or whatever. People just hated them, were, like, boycotting them and shit. Like, it works. Pepsi, people were really pissed at their ads. Like, it happens with a lot of businesses. Now, of course, they recover over time because they can afford to take that kind of hit, but they don't like taking that kind of hit, and they change their business mentalities when it comes to this kind of stuff. So that whole underlying thing happening in this episode was insane, and it was nice to see. It's always nice to know that there is that small bit of hope that people, if you band together, can take down a big corporation, and corporations don't run everything. Although that's how it seems in the world, but if enough people get behind a good cause, the good cause can overcome. Lastly, the two things that I want to talk about are what is in the damn box. We got a little bit, it's a question we ask every week. It does seem like it's a person that the doctor may know, or it's definitely something he doesn't want to get out. Now, some interesting things is that apparently this person or thing that is in this box that the doctor is supposed to be protecting could sense that the doctor is no longer around, which is interesting. At least that's something that Nordal said. He was like, what if this person sensed or found out that you were no longer here and they got out? Like, what would happen then? But it's possible that we could eliminate it being Missy or the Master. Maybe it could be the Master still, but maybe not Missy, because she's going to be in the next episode unless the doctor, since he can no longer see, that's the other twist we saw at the end of the episode, that the doctor is still freaking blind. Maybe in the next episode he actually opens up what's in the freaking case or whatever, and it's actually Missy, and he needs her help because he no longer has his eyes. Maybe he uses her intelligence to bring back his eyes somehow. I don't really know what he could do, because it would be hella interesting, and I would love to see how the freaking series would actually deal with the rest of the season with the doctor being blind. That would be very different, something that hasn't been done on the show from my knowledge, that they would go the rest of the season with the doctor being blind. That would be crazy and awesome, but I don't see that happening. So I do think that maybe whatever's in the vault could help him, or he's going to try to find somebody that'll actually help him get his eyesight back. But if you guys didn't notice, also from the next episode, you see him wearing his sunglasses, and at the end of this actual episode, we saw him wearing the sunglasses too, when he was talking to Nordal and everything like that. And those have to be the Sonic sunglasses. A lot of people hated those in I think it was the first season when he broke his original, or when he broke 11's freaking Sonic screwdriver. Sorry, I lost train of thought for a while. But yeah, when the Sonic screwdriver from 11 broke, he didn't have a new Sonic thing, so it was like bada bing, bada boom. Sonic sunglasses, a lot of people hated that, but he still has them, and he's probably going to be using those to see for the time being. Also, we saw that the robots broke the Sonic screwdriver, and that, like, I was a little upset about that. I was like, no, don't tell me he's gonna get another Sonic screwdriver already. But in the next episode, apparently he has repaired the Sonic screwdriver, or the TARDIS has given him another one. There hasn't been, that Sonic screwdriver hasn't been around too long, so I don't want it to change already, although we know he has so many just sitting on his desk or whatever. So I'm glad, because I want to get one of those in my hands, because I like how it's kind of, the top is shaped like a TARDIS. That's kind of badass, and I didn't want it to end so soon. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that's it for my Doctor Who review. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Did you catch any cool little Easter eggs that I didn't? Who do you think is in the box, or what is in the box? Let me know in the comment sections down below. Guys and gals, don't forget that the giveaway for the Samsung Gear VR is still going on. The giveaway link is in the description down below. Also, if you want to help out the channel, don't forget that you can go over to Patreon and become a patron, and just look at one of the tiers. There's a bunch of them over there, but we do have one that allows you to be a producer, kind of like this, and it just shows you helping out the channel, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, but you can always just help out this channel by giving it a thumbs up if you like the video and sharing it with all your Doctor Who buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I am your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. If I have my daily dose of juice, see you guys next time. Bye!